This is Dr. Road from Mobilet. Today, Pogacar, currently one of the most dominant riders in road cycling races, has been drawing a lot of attention for his unique road bike setup. Among the most talked about features is his choice of crank arm length. Typically for someone around 176 centimeters tall, a 170 millimeter crank arm is the standard. Custom 5540T chainring for UAE Team Emirates, and a 165 millimeter crank. Depending on the race, a 50T chainring is also used. However, Tadej Pogacar, who stands at 176 centimeters, uses a 165 millimeter Shimano Dura-Ace crank arm. Jonas Vingegaard, who can be considered a rival of Tadej Pogacar and stands at 175 centimeters tall, is also using short 150 millimeter crank arms starting in 2025. It's not uncommon for cycling enthusiasts to mimic the setups of top-tier athletes. Generally, longer crank arms allow for more torque or power, but at the cost of lower cadence. On the other hand, shorter crank arms make it easier to achieve higher cadence, although climbing may require slightly more muscle effort. The most interesting and most discussed evolution of Pogacar's racing gear is his crank arms.
The most interesting and most discussed evolution of Pogacar's racing gear is his crank arms. Pogacar worked with Sola, Bacili, and biomechanist David Herrero to select a 165 millimeter crank, a whopping 7.5 millimeters shorter than the cranks he was using just 2 years ago. The shorter crank arms allow Pogacar to hit his preferred high cadence, and combined with the new lower, narrower front end, he can achieve more speed with less effort. Alvin Holbrook, July 21st, 2024.
What's fascinating is that despite the shorter crank length, the overall power output remains nearly identical to that of a longer crank arm, as confirmed by various bike fitting experts and cycling channels. Studies and testing have shown that shorter cranks can alleviate pain in the hips or knees, significantly reduce body sway during pedaling, and improve comfort for riders with limited flexibility or those who carry extra weight. In such cases, shorter cranks prevent the knees from hitting the torso. If you decide to switch to shorter cranks, you'll need to adjust your saddle height and stem. If you want an aero position, leave the stem height as is. For example, when moving from a 175 millimeter crank to a 165 millimeter crank, the saddle and stem height should be raised by 5 to 10 millimeters. Additionally, the saddle should be pulled slightly forward, generally less than 5 millimeters, to account for the shorter crank length and the changes in leg extension and seat post height. One thing to note is that shorter cranks can alter your gear ratios, which might make climbing a bit more challenging. This change is similar to having a larger chainring installed. Experts suggest that sprinting may feel slightly less responsive due to the shorter cranks, but this can be addressed by switching to a larger sprocket, such as moving from a 30T to a 34T. Shorter crank arms are also gaining traction globally as a solution to alleviate joint pain and improve overall performance. It's becoming a new trend in road cycling. As for whether future road bike cranks will be consistently shorter than traditional frame size standards, we'll have to wait and see. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing and liking the channel. Keep in mind that crank length, frame size, and riding style differ for every rider. If your current crank length feels uncomfortable, I highly recommend consulting a professional fitter. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. This has been Dr. Road from Mobilet. Thanks for watching.